If Apple had a gang sign, it probably would look like this. By the time we're done here, we will walk through the process of configuring macOS with static and dynamic IP addressing information, as well as exploring tools to make sure that we can test that network access is functional from the terminal window. So, love them or hate them, Apple is amazing, and they're following the iPhone success with their operating system. Used to be called OS X, recently renamed to macOS because Apple is always changing things, built on a foundation of FreeBSD, which is a Linux variant. Provides a ton of functionality, a gorgeous graphic interface, and an amazing terminal that you can use if you're into the network world to do a lot of troubleshooting. It's my preferred operating system when I'm working in a network environment. So here's how we modify the IP address in macOS. I'm going to access the operating system, pop open System Preferences. You can get there from the bouncing icon or the Apple in the upper left-hand corner. Click on Network, and right there I see my Ethernet adapter. If you have any Wi-Fi, etc., they'll all show up in this list. You can see by default it's using DHCP, and if I want to statically assign the IP address, just go in here and do whatever IP address you want to assign it. I'll just do 192.168.123. If you want to go back to DHCP, again, as easy as changing it from the dropdown. You also have the door open to the advanced option, which allows you to go in and modify your DNS servers, add more DNS servers if you want to, add search domains. And by the way, search domains are useful if you're accessing things by domain. So let's say my whole company is configured as jeremy.local domain, right? And that's a Windows domain or whatever domain you want to use. Or in my case, you can see I have right here LAN. Pretty lame search domain. But what this does is, I want to say prepend, but what do you call it when you add something to the end? Suffend? So if I go in and I say ping Bob, it will automatically, and in this case, put bob.lan as what it's going to try and ping. I can add search domains here. I can say, let's add in, let's just say chara.org, right? And hit enter. And now if I ping Bob, it's going to ping Bob, and it's going to try and ping bob.chara.org. And I can add multiple search domains if that's what I have there, multiple DNS servers. Again, all the settings are right here at my disposal for both IPv4 and IPv6 addresses if you're in the IPv6 world. So I'm going to hit apply, and I'm going to make sure that took effect using the terminal. By the way, terminal by default opens with a white background, black text, which just drives me crazy because I don't know why. So I think Jeremy Chara, am the reason they invented dark mode, because every site, everywhere I go to, I can't stand white backgrounds. I don't know what my deal is. So I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can see. So I changed it to a black background, a little transparency. By the way, if you want to know how to do that, just go to Terminal Preferences, and you want to go to the Profiles, and I do a little homebrewing right here. So I select Homebrew as my profile. This is my color scheme. ifconfig is the quickest, easiest way to verify what IP address you are using. In this case, 192.168.1.123. I can ping. I'll just do 4.2.2.2, a nice DNS server. Now, unlike Windows, if you're using Windows, you're used to getting 4 pings by default. FreeBSD, Apple, macOS will just keep pinging. And so to stop it, just hit Control-C on the keyboard. You can also use the similar tool Windows has of NSLookup here to do tests of your DNS servers. I can type in server, and it'll show this is the default server that it's using for its lookup. So I could even change it. I can say server 4.2.2.2. Let's go Google.com. Verify that I can get to Google. Cisco.com. Verify that I can get to Cisco. And that's I use the NSLookup if I'm troubleshooting name servers. If I just want to ping something and make sure that I can get there, it should resolve. Oh, well, in this case, it's broken. My DNS settings are wrong. So it shows right here, Cisco.com unknown host, and that's probably because I have the default server set to 127.0.0.1, and that's probably because I'm using a hacked up version of Mac OS because I'm actually running Windows, and I'm running this inside of VMware. So the fact that it's running is great. I can also go in here and use traceroute. Now, In the Windows world, I would type in traceroute-D, and then we'll say 4.2.2.2 to show all of the routers that I'm going through. The -D ensures it doesn't do reverse DNS lookups. That is, every IP address, it tries to look at a name server and say, well, who is that IP address really? It's kind of cool, but just takes a lot longer to actually do a traceroute. In macOS, instead of doing traceroute-D, you do traceroute-N, which is short for numeric display. In my case, it's shooting out hop by hop. You can see the little asterisk represents a dropped packet. Because I'm getting drops along the way, I'll hit the up arrow and try it again. By the way, traceroute does 3 individual pings to every router along the way. That's great when you're trying to track down a device along the way that's lagged. Maybe you have a slow connection. You're like, man, is this the server? What is this? Traceroute will expose where in the path you're getting that delayed response time. So it's great that you get 3 pings. And in this case, it dropped 1 ping here and here. This traceroute went through 100% successful. Last but not least, I can do an ARP. ARP-A will show all the IP address to MAC address mappings that macOS has resolved. Really handy if you're trying to troubleshoot network connectivity and you're like, man, is this device even online? Am I getting an ARP entry showing up? Or maybe the IP address recently changed and it doesn't align with the MAC address. You can verify all that using the ARP command. That is the process of configuring macOS with static and dynamic IP addressing information and 4 tools: ifconfig, ping, nslookup, and ARP that you can use to test and troubleshoot connectivity. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.